So now we're inside of Bakersfield Flour and Bread with Steve, and he's going to take me on a tour.
Yes. Flour is thought of, I think, from a commodity standpoint, more of a functionality. Like, how do I use this to make something else? And that's understandable. But part of our approach with fresh flour and nutrition and flavor is to think about that as a key ingredient, because it is a key ingredient in cookies or breads or pasta. And so how do you bring that forward? And that's a lot to do with interaction, demos, customer education.
How different, really, does one grain taste from another? Can you really taste it in the bread?
You can. The words we use a lot are nutty, earthy. You know, I would say there's a sweetness to fresh flour in general that's not sugary sweet, but almost like a piece of fruit would have. So those elements are really there in each grain, and they're more predominant or prevalent depending on the grain itself. Overall, it comes through in such a deep, kind of complex way always, you know, depending on what the bread is. One of the pillars that we kind of stand on is fresh flour. So what we do is we mill, and then within 24 to 48 hours, we're using that flour. And the reason we do that is we want fresh flour to be highlighted in our products. What happens over time is oxidation occurs. So industrial flour that's set on the shelf for a month or 2 months has been oxidized to the point where much of the fat has been eliminated. And so all of those elements that are gone on the shelf, that's a flour that, say, is 6 weeks old, are still present in the flour that we're milling.
What people don't realize is that this country was covered with local mills.
Right.
100, 150 years ago.
Exactly.
And it was only in the industrialization of the grain economy where it became very, very centralized.
Yes.
And now that's starting to come back. And it's creating opportunity for farmers to be able to grow the types of grains that they want, to run their farms the way that they want to farm. And it also creates opportunity for people like you who want to create a product that is unique and something that's an expression of yourself.
Right. For us, it makes sense and it's natural to do what we're doing, and we can't imagine doing it any other way. I mean, that kind of idea of going backwards, in a sense, is what we're kind of all about, going backwards and forwards at the same time.
Everything starts on a farm and comes all the way through the process to the consumer. And here at Food Building, it puts all the makers kind of front and center. And because all of you are so concerned about direct sourcing from farmers you have relationships with, and then you have the restaurant that kind of pulls it all together, it's like this little microcosm of the local food movement in a way.
It is. And it's, you know, when people say like farm to table, well, every food is farm to table. It's just a matter of how you think about it, right? And so we're trying to take that to the next step, which is it's more than that. It's a direct connection. And so, you know, what does that mean? And how do you think about your food in terms of freshness, in terms of quality? You know, so I mean, we're trying to make sure that all of those aspects are highlighted.